another entirely fabricated landscape, and again of very dramatic Dartmoor. This exists only in my head, so it's my approach to a quick impressionist painting or impression of an area based on experience. Now, I haven't got a great imagination. I wouldn't want you to think that I have. I haven't. So I have to really, I can't visualise too much of what I'm going to put on here. It takes a life of its own, but of course, unlike acrylic or oil, it's much more difficult to change once you make a mistake. You can't just really disguise it. Well, you can to a certain extent, but not easy. Now, I'm still using this palette from the last painting. A lot of tube paint, straight from the tube, all nice and fresh and liquid. It's an extravagant way of painting, of course, but what I don't use will dry on there and it becomes like the other palette. This palette I owe to Stephen Cronin. The idea of painting like a really large paint box, isn't it, of dried paints. Nothing new there, but it was the Ron Ranson idea of using paint straight from the tube, and because we're using student quality, it's not so important to be stingy with it. It helps you to use it, and it's what you leave on the palette is more important than what you put on the painting. So the more you use, the better it is, in other words, for this sort of painting. So I'm going to wet the paper all over. I didn't do such a good job on the sky in the Welsh Mountain one. That was a painting inspired by a lovely painting by Edward Weston. I didn't copy it, I've done it a few times, my version of it. So I did that from my visual memory, such as it is. Right, okay, that's nice and wet. But not so wet that it's running off the paper. So I'll put in some nice rich sienna. That's raw sienna. All over. And a bit of blue in the sky, low down I think. Don't want it too light, too dark. And put a little bit of alizarin on there, just a touch. Okay, perhaps a little bit more blue, low down. So this is light blue towards the horizon, but I want the nice heavy colours on the top here. So light red, bit of Payne's grey, ultramarine. So let's get a raw. I don't want this too streaky. Right, we'll see what happens to that. So there's a sort of a dramatic sky there. Now we're going to do some distant hills. Let's just take that off the bottom there. As that expands, it will buckle, and then we can re-clip it. So some nice bit of yellow in there. Just hills, the background. And then we can have some more greeny colours, path, richer colour. And then so we'll put some heavier paints in here. Try to keep that path involved. Nice and dark in areas, dark greens. And I can put in some trees, some blue. Let's get them in. Now, so this is the advantage of the heavier paints. Look, it won't completely dry into the colour, into the wet paint underneath. It will stay largely where you put it. Now this is the stage where I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to have had something to copy. Right, let's get in some nice darks in here. Shadow. Good dark greens. Now I'll put some trees on here, some stunted now we'll put in some stone walls. And we can try to improve and set that back further. Right, let's do a bit of scraping. I'm rushing this because my daughter's coming over and she's taking my wife to IKEA. Now, I'm inspired today because yesterday I found out from YouTube that I've got for my first actual earnings. And I'm really, really delighted. I didn't start out with a view to making money. I did it to help a friend with her watercolours, and as you know, I had painted watercolour for a long time. Let's do these bits of stone walls, and I had to go back and try to remember how to do them, and I started putting them on YouTube so that she could actually see them. if you couldn't get to me for the demonstrations. Excuse me. Right, let's give that a bit of a dry. Now what you can see on this so already is that we've got the warm colours in the front going into the blue colours at the back. Now I'm going to try to put in the wall, the path. So a bit of ultramarine and a bit of light red is a good colour. Right. Now I'll put a bit of texture in the foreground. So much nice greens and look, it's lovely. It's like oil paint now. Look at that. So we can just a bit of texture. It's a little bit wetter. And I'll put a couple of figures walking down the road. Or down the path. Nice warm texture. Right, let's put a few twigs in there. Now these trees, what trees are they seem to be very spready, right? Not going upright, they're going, because windswept, they sort of resist going up, so just nothing, no detail, just a hint of stuff going on here. The blue in there, the rough terrain. Right, I'm not going to do any more to that, except put my little figures in. I've got my little figure brush, not with the rigger. So we'll have not heavy enough really, but I'll sign that. Big bird in. Put it in a mount. Now, maybe it might look better with a light mount. Dirty light mount. Don't know. There's that. Or does that? I reckon it's better in the dark one. Okay, so Dartmoor, that's got a little bit wrong there, but never mind. Let's zoom in. So there's my background. Background hills. These here could have been a bit heavier, but it's the foreground. Look, it's the textures that I've got into that foreground. I've used the scraping, and I've used the neat paint straight from the tube on the edge of the rig, and I've just put it in, and that's the effect. I'm not saying it's a good painting of it, but it gives you an idea of how to use transparent paint, but build it up with a slight impasto, make it look a bit like a pastel, as if you're just dragging colour over the high spots. This I quite like. It's just a demo, but I hope you enjoyed it. I'll just take you back into there. I won't leave it too small. You can have a little look at that. Have a go yourself. Just paint fast, loose and free. Fast or loose, fast and loose. That's the idea. Do it quickly. See if you can do them in 20 to 30 minutes. I struggle really because I talk too much and I put a bit of a drawing in first. It all takes time and I explain. But anyway, that's the second today. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.